This
Here's
ain't crazy talk. I know it happened, bro.
what then.
I know.
So, what you want to tell it or not? Because either you're going to hold it in and let it destroy your life, or you just going to tell it now, or you don't even have to tell it. You want other people to tell, but see, people are not going to sit there and say stuff for you, Bryshere, and then you get scared and be like, oh.
I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Dad for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
She said, you know Will raped me. You know Diddy made me suck his You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck.
Me and my mom would pack up a small Camry car and we would drive to Michigan, and we'll drive to Wisconsin and stuff like that, and I'll go perform for high schools for free.
Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get.
So just when we thought this mess with the Epstein files was over, more shocking details are coming about all those celebrities who were really into youngins, allegedly. A lot of these young, up-and-coming artists were brought into the island so all these elites could place their bet on them, and the highest bidder got their way. To make matters even worse, Will Smith's former assistant, brother Bilaal, also stepped into the chat at the very last minute to expose how Will allegedly used that whole mentorship stuff to get Bryshere into this mess, just so he could butter it up with them elites and keep his position. Apparently, this is a popular strategy created by high-level industry executives to lure unsuspecting people into their sick world. And unfortunately for most of them, they either end up hooked on substances and selling their body on the internet for $5 subscriptions on OF like Bryshere, or they end up dead like Aaron Carter. Okay, so as most of y'all already know by now, the DOJ put out the second batch of Epstein-related documents. But guess what? There are 3 million files still yet to be released, and that first batch was just the trailer. And all these celebrities that most of you worship are right there in the new list, doing exactly what you think they were doing. One of the major names that was brought up was Jay-Z. According to reports, he was incriminated in the files by a woman claiming that he was an accomplice to her SA. The woman said she woke up to Harvey Weinstein doing inappropriate things to her, while Jay-Z was allegedly present in the room watching it happen.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for mass incarceration?
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then can I ask you about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement is...
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the f*** they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, I think they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars.
Man.
Liars are now the face of our culture.
Anyway, it only went downhill from here. Naomi, always at the crime scene, Campbell was also brought up. And I'm not even joking when I said no one was surprised. If you're looking for the one person who seems to always be mixed up with literally every shady billionaire in the industry, but somehow still gets off untouched every time, it would definitely be Naomi. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually kind of impressive how she does it.
Did you know who he was?
Yes, I knew him. I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else.
Yo, there's one thing that I've deeped, and no one ever mentions Naomi Campbell. Why don't Naomi Campbell ever get mentioned in these conversations, bro? We always talk about Epstein, Weinstein, Diddy, and you know every single one of those niggas that got one thing in common for real. Naomi Campbell, bro. Naomi Campbell, I'm onto you, bro. Naomi Campbell, I'm onto you. You are a suspicious character. I can't be the only one that's noticing this. Naomi Campbell's always there. Even with young girls, she's involved, bro. Personally, she's really involved. And I don't know how she's gotten away with this for so long. Bro, someone needs to check those files again and make sure her name's on there. I'm guaranteeing her name's on there a couple of times for sure.
Among the recently released files, there were multiple emails that apparently showed Naomi and Epstein allegedly working together to coordinate a plan to source models. And keep in mind, she has already been accused by several women of dangling the promise of a modeling career in front of them, only to turn around and send them off to private parties with wealthy older men with no runway in sight. But it wasn't just the models that were being sourced. Allegedly, rappers and actors too, especially the up-and-coming, gullible ones who were easier to manipulate. Apparently, all these people were set up for the party attendee so they could have their way with them. I mean, I am pretty sure you have heard about yachting clubs and Dubai's infamous porta party situation. And if you are wondering, how were these people even recruited into it? Some of these celebrities were having their own freak-offs on the side, just to prime these rappers up so all this would become their new normal. And to pull this off, they started a mentorship program in Hollywood, where older actors mentor younger actors, older singers mentor younger singers, older rappers mentor younger rappers. You get the point. Now, from the outside looking in, this seemed like a fantastic idea, but new evidence shows that it was actually a front for them to take advantage of the people they were supposed to mentor. And according to Will Smith's former assistant Bilaal, this is what Will allegedly did to Bryshere Gray. And after Bryshere was primed, he passed him off to whoever would give Will the best returns. Now, there really isn't anything wrong with rappers taking on other rappers to mentor. In fact, some of these mentor-mentee relationships have brought out some of the best rappers we have right now. For example, Birdman took Wayne under his wing, and through that, Wayne became a star and went on to usher in Drake and Nicki Minaj. Then there was also Eminem and Dr. Dre. Before Eminem blew up, he was known as nothing more than an underground white rapper from Detroit. That was until Dre stepped in and changed everything. He didn't just mentor Eminem, he signed him, personally produced his early albums, and even helped shape his sound. But as I said, the vultures at the top saw this and decided to use it as a way to lure in their unsuspecting victims. Prior to Will Smith coming into Bryshere's life, he was already making a name for himself, thanks to his role as Hakeem on Empire. His manager Charlie at the time thought it would be a great move to bring Will and Diddy in as mentors for Bryshere. On the surface, but fast forward to 2026, and it's pretty safe to say Bryshere would have been a whole lot better off if those so-called mentors had never entered the picture.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog. Doing things to boys and did stuff to your son, and you ain't do shit about it. Bilal told me everything.
Their good friend who
Bilal told me. Jada. He told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child. Yes, he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview. Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal.
And somehow, it still manages to get worse. Brother Bilaal, who spent years in the industry working as Will Smith's assistant, popped up right in the middle of all of this, with a lot to say. This man sat down with Tasha K and came out publicly alleging that Will Smith is gay. And he didn't stop there. He went into detail about the time he claims he walked in on Will and Dwayne Martin in a very compromising situation in Dwayne's dressing room. And according to Bilaal, Will was not the one in charge of the situation, if you catch the drift. His words, not mine.
I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder, like murder. It was murder in there.
And just when it seemed like things couldn't possibly get any messier, Bilaal went back on Tasha K's show for round 2 and came with even wilder allegations than the first time around. He revealed that during a trip to Chicago with Bryshere had a major breakdown and opened up to him about how Will had allegedly passed him on to the highest bidder.
I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his penis. know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling the absolute truth.
Now, some say that Bryshere was used by other rich men consistently, which completely broke his mind, and that is the reason he started acting out and getting arrested. It gotten so bad for him that he has reverted to selling himself on the internet. Now, because Bilaal hadn't actually put forward any hard evidence to back any of this up, a lot of people were unsure about whether to take him seriously. And fair enough. Anyone can sit in front of a camera these days and say anything if they're convincing enough. But then Terrence Howard entered the chat and seemingly confirmed what Bilaal had been saying, and suddenly people started paying a whole lot more attention.
But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
And even though these allegations might sound crazy to some of y'all, it's definitely not new. We've heard other industry whistleblowers like Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle talk about things like this happening.
$50 million 4 times. 4 times, just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say I'm so free. Kid, I need to know. Like, when I see people's wives and stuff, I don't even look at them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look at nothing I don't want to have. Because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling. Come on, man. They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo!
So you wonder what they did to get her.
I told him no. What y'all do?
And of course, we cannot forget the Justin Bieber and Usher situation. Usher was mentored by Diddy and later admitted to being exposed to inappropriate behavior while he was with Diddy. However, as soon as he signed Justin, he sent him over to Diddy for the same mentorship that supposedly traumatized him. And you all can see how Justin turned out. Justin was never the same. And people even believe this is part of why he and Usher got into it at Beyonce and Jay-Z's Oscars after party.
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop.
Yes, I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. It was,
So nobody tried. And your parents were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this.
Oh.
I was having a good time, you know what I mean?
Now, would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See?
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay, I get the mansion?
Yeah.
As usual, people had their thoughts. Like this person who said, Bryshere, Bieber, Jaden Smith, Aaron Carter, that's disgusting what they did to all of these men. And all their parents should be held accountable for not protecting them. Diddy, Will, Jade, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Epstein, Usher, and all the adults that essayed them belong in prison for life. Can only hope the day will come and they all get served prison sentences, and even the ones that didn't act on it, but knew what was going on. Another person said, Hollywood has never been good at all. They are all evil-minded, sleep with each other, and now it's all blowing on their faces. We are the celebrities, not them, period. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Bryshere's past coming up in this entire Epstein conversation? And do you really think he was mistreated and used like Bilaal is claiming? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to watch his other messy video.